Most Airbnb hosts think pricing is complicated, and this January has really taught me a big lesson. Now, especially when we work with clients who's got like 400 to 500 properties in a portfolio to some of our clients with 2-3, right? And they all kind of go through a similar problem. And most hosts think that you need an expensive software, a complex dashboard, or years of experience. And the answer is you don't. Now in this video, I am going to exactly show you how I price an Airbnb in about 10 minutes using like simple logic, no fancy tools and no automation, and literally no guessing the work. And this is the same process I would suggest you either if you are looking for, like, let's say going and getting a new property, review an existing property that you already have, or just doing a sanity check on pricing. And also remember, this is based on 90% of our UK-based clients who are generally operating similar type of properties across the board. Now let's get straight into the video. Step number one, look, I would like you to start your comparable listing, but do it daily and weekly. Now the first thing I'll recommend is you kind of completely ignore your own property. Now instead I look at comparable listing. Now you've probably heard this so many times, but I speak to over 20 hosts every single week, right? Different size, different portfolio. I ask them, how many of them actually really go and understand their pricing and their investment area. They're probably 2 out of 20 actually says, Piers, I understand it and I've done this. So what I want you to do is, I want you to focus on the same area, similar size property, and similar quality, because it makes a difference. What you don't want to do is focus on the cheapest listing. You don't want to go and compare it with a higher end property, and just be realistically looking at the competitions in the market. Now I usually look at 5 to 10 listings and ask one simple questions. What are the guests actually looking, and why are they choosing instead of me, right? And that's kind of immediately anchors pricing in reality. Now look, let me take you into a screen share and I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. Okay guys, so as you can see, I am in Airbnb right now, and it's easy as just going, let's say for example, I can do like somebody who's looking to invest in Dubai, they could do this, right? You can go in and you can look at last minute bookings. So if I was somebody trying to come in just for the weekend, because it's last minute trip, 2 people, search. Now you can't, that isn't a market comparable. For me, that gives you a whole of Dubai. And for example, if you're investing in a certain area, so for example, let me take Dubai Hills as an example, I would recommend you go into Dubai Hills Estate, then do the same check like I did. So over the weekend, right, 2 nights, 2 guests, and I would really zoom in to the all of Dubai Hill, because now you've got information based on, look, there's only actually 16 homes available. But then again, a market comparable would be like, okay, if you're looking to get like a 1-bed or a 2-bed, you can see, you can literally see a 1-bedroom charging like 258 was meant to be like 340 something. So it kind of gives you a bit of understanding. Now, what you want to do is you want to list, at least you can go on the entire home. You can literally filter down 2 or 3 homes, or however many bedroom you're looking for. And you can then start thinking about guests. You can think about, okay, next week I'm going to try and attract somebody who's going to come for a week, right? And then, okay, do a search. Now, instead of 16 home, there's 38 homes. So now that shows to me that, okay, over 50% of properties were potentially booked this week. And then also it gives me a pricing indication. Amazing. £923. Okay, that's a 2-bedroom for 900. But then there's another one down the road that's looking to charge 1517. So, but then the photo quality, this one's a lot better than the other. So you can see how quickly you can get all this information within seconds, just going in, but you've got to do it on a weekly and a daily basis. Now, step number 2 is look at their nightly rate, not just their claim. Now, here's a common mistake I see. People look at the monthly income screenshots firstly. They look at the 10K per month claims, and also they look at the inflated revenue, right? And again, if you're working with a management company, you've got to ask them these questions. And look, I don't really care about any of that, because I look at nightly rates for what we call short-term stay, and I then look at profit pricing for longer term stays. So you've got like weekdays pricing, you've got weekends pricing, and obviously you've got to know, is it a short stay that you're trying to attract last minute, or are you looking to attract longer term stays thinking about profit? Because pricing happens per night, and you can think about shorter gap fillers. And if you're looking at attracting longer term bookings, it's understanding what we call profit and then pricing. Now, this alone removes 80% of your confusion. Now, once you sit and write down and what I've just mentioned, let me take you into the screen share and I'll show you exactly what I mean by the short-term nightly rates and the long-term profit pricing. Now, as I was looking earlier with Dubai Hills, right, you can see like we're talking about pricing for the week and we're looking at market comparable. There was two different ones. So let's take this two example as a host, right? They're within kind of the same area in Dubai Hill. Obviously the one which is 923 is actually much more closer to the golf course than the other one. So if I open both the listing, right? So I'm just going to quickly open them. I'm going to open that. Now we're going to talk about the nightly rate first, right? If I'm looking to attract last minute booking because the calendar's empty, so if you go there, actually amazing. This person's got a pretty decent calendar apart from next week where they need to attract themselves a last minute booking, versus the one that's cheaper is currently fully vacant, right? Now that shows a lot about the market. Now, for me, if I was to look at nightly rate, attractively, I'm going to come to this property, which is near to the golf course and has got really good reviews. And yeah, ideally, because it's new, they probably want to get some reviews and they're selling it cheaper. But then if I was to look at what we call a monthly rate, because at this moment in time, they've got like a weekly booking in the middle of the month, I'm going to go 19 to the 19th. That gives me a figure that they're looking to attract per month. Now, earlier we saw that their weekly pricing was 900 and something. So I'm going to show you again, right? Their weekly pricing is 923. So effectively that's, nearly like, yeah, £4,000, right? So 3.9, I'd say. Whereas if you go for a monthly stay just off March, it's 3.8. So they're kind of giving a little bit more discount for somebody to come and stay with them for long term. And that's what it means by understanding nightly rates and profit pricing. I'm going to go for April. Let's have a look. 5,649. I'm going to go and do the same thing here. April for this property, right? 4,368. So this is exactly what I mean by understanding a good profit pricing over the short-term nightly rate stays. So now let's talk about step number 3. It's adjusting for seasonality, right? And very quickly. So the next thing I think about is, what season are we in? It's not complicated. There's like basically 3 ways you've got to ask yourself question. Is this currently our high season or wherever you're investing it? Is it currently a low season, or is this like a shoulder season, right? Because what people forget when they're doing their numbers and they don't look at the whole 12 months, that's when it becomes, you're not predicting the future. You're not just chasing the perfect kind of numbers in your property, but I just want you to avoid like 2 little mistakes. Overpricing in quiet months, like God, January this year, the operators have lost money due to this, right? And secondly, underpricing in peak demand due to just more inconsistency on pricing and management. And this is where the simple season awareness absolutely beats like complex forecasting, right? Price lab, this and that. Really don't have to worry about this because, if you're in Dubai right now is the best season of the year. Whereas in the UK, we've had the worst season of the year. So it's just understanding your investment area, your property type, what kind of guest behavior you attract. It makes a huge difference on the way you price your property. And step number 4 is to apply manual pricing logic. Now look, I apply what I call a manual pricing logic, and most of my clients know this, right? I ask them, look, is this property better, worse, or average compared to the competition? Now you can easily do that. It takes less than 5 minutes. I've shown you guys earlier in Airbnb, you can zoom in your investment area. It's very easy way to figure that out. Now, if it's better, you price slightly higher. If it's worse, I'll probably recommend you price slightly lower, right? Just off because you've studied the market. And if it's similar, I just sit right in the middle. Now, I know sometimes you might think, like most operators, that it's worth a lot more. And look, the market decides it. Now, all you need to do is like adapt and respond, right? And this is where most hosts go wrong, because they just price emotionally, not logically. So look, like here, right? We talked about understanding the market share. Like the person between this two property, 1,517 to 923, is between 5 minutes away from each other. The likely chances are this company is not measuring their performance or actually pricing all the time. That company is more likely to get booking straight away because they're priced probably correct in the market for now. But this company would hope that this person gets booked first, because then they can go and charge hopefully the figure they need. But with a lead time with less than 2-3 days, the likely chances are this person's going to get booked, right? That means they're going to end up losing this money. So again, just that tiny little check makes a huge difference on a day-to-day basis. And step number 5 is pressure test your price, right? Before I lock anything in, even with our clients, I basically do a pressure test. And what I ask is, if I were a guest, would I potentially book this property? Or does this feel like fair on what's been offered compared to the market we've already done? And is there a reason why someone would choose me at this price over basically all the market competition that you've looked at? Now, if the answer feels that you're not too sure, look, I tell my clients, let's go and adjust it. But pricing should feel confident, not just hopeful. And again, it's so simple to stress test this every single day, by the way. And if you do this for 7 days, you will understand the market fully. Now, the final step number 6 is avoiding this common pricing mistakes. Now, look, let me quickly cover the mistakes I see all the time. Number 1 is most hosts chase high nightly rates, which is totally fine, right? But then they don't understand the guest booking behavior. So what this means is small bookings in your calendar at high price further down does not equal to profit. You end up like not filling gaps actually, and literally losing more. Number 2, you're copying other people's listing. They might be a landlord with literally no mortgage, so it's different to yours. You're like probably subleasing or doing a rent to rent, right? And number 3, setting up price once and never reviewing them. Doesn't mean like you're dropping and going down. It's change pricing. It's understanding the market. So pricing is a living decision, and that needs to be done every single day without fail. Here's the key thing I want you to remember, right? Good Airbnb pricing isn't literally about software. Now, it's all about, you've seen, right? We've spent time understanding your market, like zooming into Dubai Hills. I knew what I was looking for. It's understanding your competition. I was looking at 2 people, figuring out what they were doing differently. And it's thinking like a guest. So I was saying, what if I go for the weekend? What if I go for the week? Like, it's always thinking about all of that. So look, if you can do that, you can price your Airbnb properly in less than 10 minutes without stressing or guessing the pricing. If you want more practical breakdowns like this, operations, you've got system and how it works in the real world, this is the channel, and I talk about this all the time. My name is Piers BK, and thank you so much for watching another Grow Airbnb video. Now, I'm going to link a new video that we've launched about Airbnb co-hosting and Dubai's market. And thank you so much for watching another Grow Airbnb video.